Greetings, saints. My name is Cleopatra Manyika. I am a member of Downtown Christian Family. I am a mother of two boys, Jaden, who is turned 15, and Aiden, who is turning 6 this year. My journey in my life has been one that has been moving from one season to another. But through it all, I'm grateful because I've had the Lord as my anchor. Some days are not easy, and some days it's exciting in this journey of life with God. When I gave birth to my firstborn, Jaden Manyika, when I first met him, he was so beautiful and so light. And in those moments, I just wanted to protect him, love him. And then when I really looked at him, this beautiful baby, I could see that he was a bit different. And so many emotions go through your life, go through in your mind. But one thing was certain is I'm going to love this boy and I'm going to protect him, cherish him. You see, Jaden was born with albinism. That means he doesn't have the black melanin that can protect his skin from the rays of sunlight. So we've got to take extra care regarding to his skin, but that's just about it. But unfortunately, his father didn't accept him, and it's been a journey for me and Jaden, basically alone. And I'm grateful for the support of my family. He's loved. And I'm hoping that he feels that we really do love him. So Jaden is now 15 years old. And as a mother, single mother, it hasn't been easy. Especially when you're coming from a country like Zimbabwe where you want to provide the best, but everything else would probably be working against you, especially financially. That made me take a turn to leave my home country and come to South Africa. And when I got here, I've been working for provisions for Jaden. It hasn't been an easy journey, but let's say, for instance, when I go back to when he was going to grade 8, he had passed exceptionally well, 5 units, which is 5 distinctions. And that promise that said I wanted to give him the best kicked in. And I prayed. And the school that he wanted, I made a commitment myself that I would provide for that. How? I don't know, because it's quite pricey. But I remember one day when I was reading the Bible and I came across this chapter that I've read so many times, heard so many times. It told me about Elisha coming to a family, a widow actually. We had nothing, and then he told them, go get some pots, clay pots, and there was a miracle of oil. So when Jaden was in Form 1, I said to God, each term of his life, which every year is 3 terms actually, for me, it's like that clay pot that needs a fill up. So as I approach this term, I might not have the funds, but I know that God must have filled that clay pot with funds so that I get to pay the school fees in full. And it has been happening. So I'm so grateful. If I go back to 2020, I don't even know how I managed to keep him in that school. But by God's grace, I had angelic helpers, divine helpers, people that we've never met, paying school fees or contributing something. They didn't even know that they were contributing to the school fees actually. But they would have been moved by his story to assist him. So when Jaden was 5 years old, I got married. No, 10 years old actually. I got married. I was staying here in South Africa. A few days later, I got pregnant. It was an exciting time of our lives. And I was working, I started my business for a daycare. Then I got to go to the hospital. When I gave birth, it was one of the most traumatic time of my life. I gave birth around 2 a.m. and I only got to see him some time later during the day. You see, with Aiden, when he was coming out, there was a challenge. When the doctors explained, they said he had suffered brachial plexus injury or shoulder dystocia. At first, they thought it was a broken arm, so he was in all bandages. And then a few days later, then they said, no, it's actually the whole muscles of his left side were not functioning well. When he was, as each day progressed, actually, his left arm would be shorter than the right arm. And actually his left limb would be facing the other way back. One question that always came into my head was, Lord, you gave me Jaden with albinism. Now I've got a child with a hand that is not fully functioning. How am I going to raise these kids properly? I don't know if I was asking the right question. But there were so many hospital visits and we were told on doing exercises with him. But each day we would do exercise, I would be praying into that hand, praying life into that hand, that arm, those muscles. But you know, we are humans, you go to Google and it's not so nice when you read that. Then Aiden, when he was 3 months old, he had big lumps on the upper palate. At Frey Hospital, they scheduled an operation. He was not supposed to eat a day before. We got to the hospital and everything prepped, gowns worn. I was praying it through. And then the chief ped doctor came in and then he says, I've been watching you and I can see that you don't want this operation. And I said, I don't want it. He says, why? And I said, look at his hand and then another operation in the mouth. I don't think I'm ready for it. So I've been praying to God that I need a breakthrough from him. And then he said to me, if you've got faith, I can discharge you now. And then you can come back after 6 months, then we can do the operation. So I said, it's okay. Saints, after 3 months, those lumps disappeared, like totally, praise the Lord. This was when Aiden was 3 months old. When Aiden was now 4 months old, I had gone to Zimbabwe for a holiday. The father was supposed to follow me, and when I came back in January 2017, I got home, and a few days later, I could sense that something was amiss since he had stayed behind. My husband stayed behind and I was in Zimbabwe. One day after a very short, there wasn't even an argument actually, an incident where a door had closed, but not closed well. He went in a rage of anger. He'd always been someone who had this outburst of anger. He went out and then a few days later, we discovered him. Actually, they found him dead. He had committed suicide. He had hanged himself at our other daycare that we had just opened the previous week. So now I've been raising these kids as a widow. And when my husband died, I had so many questions. The what, the why, the when, the whys, hows, anything. I was asking myself because I couldn't really grasp how could he get to this state and leave me with all these questions to still answer everybody else. But the Bible says Jesus came and is the Prince of Peace. And this peace is what I've been grasping since 2017. No matter the storms that come my way, no matter the difficulties of life, I keep on praying for peace. Peace with it all, with the trials and everything else. And I know it's difficult sometimes. I pray for such things to happen. And I know the distance from now to there, it's not going to be easy. The mountains, the valleys. But one thing that has helped me is I do trust God that I'll get there right to the end. I'll have my answers prayed. I might doubt, I might sometimes worry. I'm human after all. But I've got faith that He's kept me from then, and He will still keep me. And I'm excited with this journey with God. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I choose to trust Him. He's given me the strength of a woman. And I'll carry on holding on to the stories of the other women in the Bible and become someone that God will be proud of one day. Thank you, family. You're watching Testimony Tuesday. If God can do it for me, I'm definitely sure that He can do it for you.